My name is Blaze Roberts, and tonight I'll be reflecting on how I plan to choose a topic for the Unit 6 assignment, which is to perform a demonstration speech. The first question we have is, will I demonstrate an activity from my daily life or something that's done periodically? Likely choose something that's done in my daily life because I'll be more competent with it and more confident, and I'll have a better understanding, a more thorough understanding of that activity because I'm well practiced at it. I do it every single day, probably multiple times a day. Therefore, I'm proficient and I'll be able to deliver a demonstration that is much easier to understand and more thorough. The next question we have is, what presentation aids will I use? Well, depending on what I decide to do, which right now I'm considering demonstrating how to obtain a blood pressure on a patient. And if I go with that topic, then I will need a blood pressure cuff, a stethoscope, and a volunteer or a practice dummy. And I have no problems obtaining the blood pressure cuff, and I have no problems obtaining the stethoscope. I just need to find a volunteer, as the whole demonstration would ride on that. Next question that we have is, how will I prepare the presentation? And that's talking about things like research and writing content, organized demonstration timing, and preparing parts of the demonstration in advance. Well, if it's obtaining a blood pressure cuff, I don't really need to do any research and writing because I'm competent with that. I'm very confident with that. I do it multiple times a day, and I don't see any areas that are weaker when it comes to doing that, where I would need to obtain research. Maybe research what percentage of Americans have hypertension or high blood pressure, and that would be a good thing to look up for a description as part of the introduction. But other than that, I don't see any areas where I would need to look more in depth into the topic. The next question we have is, what other elements do I need to consider? Well, as I previously mentioned, I need to consider finding a volunteer, because if I can't find a volunteer, then I need a different topic or a different activity to demonstrate. Aside from that, I think I'll need to practice doing the blood pressure cuff with a camera there and making sure I get the right angles and that you can clearly see what I'm doing. But those are my main considerations that I would have when it comes to choosing a topic for the Unit 6 assignment. What activity would you suggest somebody in the medical field select for a demonstration speech? Thank you.